You think your dad's just busy with work? Mine was too, until I found out work meant spending time with his secret second family. I always thought my dad was a hardworking man. He traveled a lot for business, spending weeks at a time in different cities, closing deals, attending meetings, or so I believed. Every time he packed a suitcase, he'd kiss my mom goodbye, pat me on the shoulder, and promise to bring back souvenirs. I never questioned it. Why would I? He was my dad, the kind of man who always had an answer for everything. But one night, everything started to unravel. It was a random Thursday. I was home from college earlier than expected, and my mom didn't know. I opened the door quietly and saw her sitting at the kitchen table, scrolling through her phone with this blank expression. She didn't notice me at first. On the table, her phone buzzed with a message. It was from D. The preview said, "He's on his way back to me." Finally, my stomach dropped. "Mom," I said slowly, "who's D?" She froze. For a second, she looked like she might cry, but then she smiled this tired, broken smile and said, "You weren't supposed to see that." I didn't understand. "What's going on? Is Dad cheating?" She sighed, leaned back in her chair, and said words I'll never forget. "Sweetheart, your father has been living two lives. And yes, I've known for years." It felt like the world tilted. "You knew. Why didn't you do anything?" She looked at me with eyes that seemed to carry decades of pain. "Because leaving him would have destroyed everything. The business, the house, your education. He pays for everything, but not just for us. He pays for them too." "Them?" I asked. She nodded. "His other family. A woman named Dana and their son. They live 2 hours away. He tells her he's on business trips when he's with us, and tells me the same lie when he's with her." I couldn't breathe. My mind was spinning. "How long?" "Since before you were born." That night, I couldn't sleep. Every memory, birthdays, Christmas mornings, family vacations, all of it replayed with this new, ugly truth layered over it. The man I thought I knew wasn't real. The next morning, I checked his laptop while Mom was in the shower. I don't know what I was looking for. Proof, maybe. Something to make sense of it. His email was open, and I saw flight confirmations, but not for the cities he told us about. I clicked one. The hotel was under a woman's name, Dana Lawson. And the worst part? The special requests section said, "Connecting rooms, same floor, please, for family." When I confronted him that weekend, he didn't deny it. He just sat there, staring at me, then finally said, "You weren't supposed to find out like this." "Like what?" I shouted. "That you've been lying to me my entire life?" He rubbed his temples. "It's complicated." I laughed, because that's all I could do. "No, it's not. You made a choice. You made two families and lied to both." Mom didn't say a word. She just looked down, like she'd already lived this confrontation 100 times in her head. The next few weeks were chaos. Dad moved out, supposedly, to think. Mom started quietly separating their finances. And me. I went through his old photos, realizing how many times he'd missed my milestones because he was probably spending them with his other kid. A few months later, I ran into him at a cafe. He was with a teenage boy, maybe 16, who looked exactly like me at that age. Same eyes. Same nervous smile. They were laughing, sharing a milkshake. Dad froze when he saw me. The boy looked confused, like he didn't know who I was. And I realized something right then. He probably didn't. My dad had built his perfect illusion so carefully that neither of us knew the other existed. He stood up and tried to speak, but I walked out before he could. That was the last time I saw him. Now, when people talk about business trips, I can't help but flinch, because I know better than anyone that sometimes those trips have nothing to do with work, and everything to do with secrets that can destroy a family. And my mom, she says she stayed all those years because she wanted to protect me. But the truth is, secrets like that don't protect anyone. They just delay the explosion.